Hey y'all. So welcome back. Today we're gonna talk about, let me just say it. God, how much longer? Have you ever prayed for something so long that eventually your prayer kind of started sounding less spiritual and more like customer service? Like, hey God, just following up on my last previous request. Or, hey, just circling back to that prayer I sent in about 6 months ago. Just want to check the status on, that thing I had reached out about. Just want to make sure this didn't get lost in the system. Because sometimes waiting will have you feeling like heaven gave you a confirmation number, but no tracking information. And I've been thinking a lot about waiting lately because I really bought a home and I recently just bought a car. Like, I really did this. And before anybody gets excited and thinks this episode is about houses and cars and naming and claiming, that's not what we're doing here. Because the house is beautiful. I love it. The car is cute. Sound system, great. Dashboard, lovely. I like the lights. But what they represent to me is bigger than the stuff. They really honestly represent the prayers. They represent seasons. They represent times when I had to keep going without really knowing how things were going to turn out. And when something finally happens that you've been waiting on, sometimes you don't just celebrate the blessing. You start thinking about the version of you who had to wait for it. And baby, won't waiting just humble you? Because we love talking about patience and like after the blessing comes, right? But nobody wants to talk about patience when everybody else is posting their blessings and you still refreshing your life like, pull down. You like pull the screen down and then it refreshes like on your phones, or you hit the circle with the arrow on the web to refresh the page. Maybe if I close this app and open it back up, nothing. Same life, same prayer, no result. Same situation, still loading. And that's the part that we're going to talk about today. Not just waiting on God, sis, but what the waiting does to you. Because sometimes we think waiting is like empty space between the prayer and the answer, but waiting is doing something. It's revealing you. It's stretching you. Most definitely could be irritating you. And it is exposing every little place where you thought you trusted God until God said, okay, trust me without a date. Now hold on. Because I trust you, but I would also like an estimated delivery window. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be Prime Day, aka Blessing Day. Preferably before 8 p.m. before Monday, on a Monday. You know what I'm saying? Because patience sounds good until you have to actually use it. I don't know about y'all, but baby, I ain't got it. We'll say things like, God's timing is perfect timing. And it is. Ain't nobody knocking that. But let somebody else get your blessing first, and suddenly you're like, perfect according to who? Because I know their life is raggedy. You ever been like happy for somebody and jealous for yourself like at the same time? I mean, be for real. You see somebody post the engagement You love them. You like the post, whatever. You happy. And you comment, congratulations. Then you put the phone down and say, okay, guys, so what we just doing everybody else now? You know, I'm sitting over here single. You know what I'm saying? Somebody gets the house. They get the promotion. Somebody's business takes off. Somebody's child gets an opportunity. You know what I mean? Or the relationship they've been waiting for. And you're genuinely happy for them. But there's still that little part of you saying, when is it going to be my turn? When can I have all of that? Because, God, I know you hear me praying for it. We've had this talk before, me and you, about me. But you taking care of everybody else first. But I don't think God is scared of honest questions. There's a difference between being ungrateful and being tired. You can't be grateful and tired. You can trust God and still be confused. And you can have faith and still say, Lord, I am running low on patience and I don't see a refill button. Because I say it often. And I think that is one of the biggest misconceptions about patience. Because patience is not pretending you don't want something. And it's not acting like you don't care. And patience is not like sitting in the corner, smiling, while everything in you is screaming. Patience is wanting it and refusing to let your frustration make the decision. Clock that. That part. Hear my nails clicking? Because frustration will have you making some really raggedy decisions. You ever get tired of waiting and almost accepted something you knew wasn't right? Like a job, a relationship. You knew that man wasn't right. You got the red flags before he even, at hello, okay? A business deal, you knew they was janky. A friendship, you know she wasn't about nothing. A situation you already knew was giving clearance rack energy. But you've been waiting so long, you just kind of started saying, well, it's better than nothing. Ain't that always a go-to line? And sometimes better than nothing will cost you so much more than waiting. Because impatience will make you take things you didn't even ask God for. And then when it becomes a mess, we come back like, Lord, fix it. Jesus, take the wheel. And God has probably looked at us like, I didn't send that. And then what do we say? Well, you were taking too long. Shoot. That's really the uncomfortable part. Sometimes we don't want God's will. We want God to co-sign our timeline, right? We want God to say yes and hurry it up. And waiting will reveal whether we trust God's wisdom or we just want God's permission, right? Because there were things I wanted years ago that, looking back now, I am so glad I didn't get it when I asked for them. Because at the time, oh yeah, baby, I was offended. I was like, Lord, we not friends, we not cool. I mean, I didn't feel like I was a babe in Christ. I thought we knew each other. But now I can see that sometimes I was asking for a blessing I wasn't emotionally ready to carry. Sometimes I was asking for doors that would have crushed me if they opened up too early. Or sometimes I wanted things because they look good from the outside. And then sometimes I wanted what everybody else had because I had not stopped long enough to ask myself if it even fit in my life. And that's where waiting starts getting real interesting. Because sometimes the blessing is not just being prepared for you. Check this out. You are being prepared for the blessing. And I know that sounds like somebody or something somebody's auntie puts on Facebook over a sunset. But it's true, y'all, like for real. Because think about it. Would the version of you from 5 years ago handle what you have now the same way you do today? I'll let you think about it. We're going to pause. Okay. Because probably not. Some of us would have fumbled it. And let's keep it real. I'm just saying. Some of us prayed for responsibility and didn't realize responsibility comes with bills, right? So you prayed for the house. Now the house got a water heater. The house got taxes. The house got something making a noise at 2:17 in the morning, and suddenly you're walking around with a flashlight like, Jesus, what's that? And you can't call your landlord no more because this is yours. You got to reach out and call them people that your landlord would call, them contractors and stuff. See, we pray for ownership and forget that ownership means when something breaks, ain't no landlord coming. It's you. Hey, congratulations though, girl, because you're the landlord. And buying a car, that's exciting too. Until that first mystery light comes on. Because nothing will test your theology like a dashboard symbol you have never seen before. Now you gotta Google. You're praying. You on YouTube. Jesus, what's this like? On a so-and-so model, year, whatever. You start bargaining, Lord. Who, baby? If this light goes off, I promise I will keep oil in my car. I promise I won't keep riding around on E. Knowing good and well, you promised God something last Tuesday too. But for real, that's why perspective matters. A blessing can look glamorous from a distance, but blessings also require stewardship. They require maturity, wisdom, and sometimes the waiting season is teaching you how to keep what you keep asking God to give you. That changed the way I think about delay. Because every delay is not denial. And every delay is not punishment. Sometimes it's protection. Definitely for me it's a preparation. And sometimes things are simply just like not lined up yet. It's not your time. And sometimes we may never fully know why something took as long as it did. Even when it looks like on paper you're ready. It looks like you've got the budget together, you planned this out, you're ready. That's the part faith doesn't always explain, right? There are some things where we will not get the behind the scenes documentary. We won't get the timeline. We won't know why this person got theirs in 6 months and ours took 6 years. And like I said earlier, we know they raggedy from the outside. And comparison makes waiting so much harder. Because comparison does not show you the full story. You're looking at somebody else's finished picture while sitting inside your own construction zone. Of course yours looks messy. It's dusty. There's tools everywhere, that yellow caution tape, them little dumb orange barrels and cones, dust everywhere. Something is half built. Somebody's yelling for measurements, and you're standing there like, this does not look like what I prayed for. Well, no, because it's not finished. And I think sometimes we abandon things because we mistake unfinished for unsuccessful. Read that again in your spirit. Think about it. Pause it. Rewind it back. Like in the 90s. You know how we do. Actually, don't. This is a podcast. Just rewind it. Yeah. Just do that. But for real. How many times have we assumed God wasn't working because we couldn't see movement? Roots grow underground, baby. Pregnancy happens before anybody sees the baby. Dough rises while it looks like it's sitting there doing absolutely nothing. And sometimes life feels exactly like that. Nothing looks like it's happening, but something is developing. And I think about the house and the car now. I am grateful, very grateful. But my favorite part is not even the stuff. It's being able to look back and say, wow, I own a house. This is all me. I made it here for real. There were days I did not know what the next chapter was going to look like, if I was going to even be here to write the chapter. There were prayers I prayed and prayed again. There were things that took longer than I wanted. There were moments when I wondered if certain doors were ever going to open. And now I can sit inside something I prayed for. Drive something I prayed for with no car payment, might I add. And remember the version of me who had no proof yet? That gets me. Because sometimes the blessing feels different when you remember who you were when you asked for it. And maybe somebody listening is still in that version of the story. Maybe you are still waiting. Maybe you're waiting on an answer, on a relationship to change, on your finances to turn, on that opportunity, waiting on your baby to get here, on the doctor's answers after all those tests, waiting on your business to flourish, waiting on clarity and peace, waiting on something you don't even talk about anymore because you're tired of explaining it. And if that is you, I'm not going to give you some cute little sentence and act like waiting doesn't hurt. Sometimes waiting is painful and it can definitely be lonely. Sometimes maybe a little embarrassing, especially when people keep asking you about the thing. You heard about so-and-so yet? Did the job call you back? No. You dating anybody? Does it look like I'm dating somebody? I'm here by myself. You walked over to my table. How's the job search? You see me with a badge. It's 12 o'clock. Like, what? You called me and I said I was at home. Ma'am, I came here for macaroni and cheese. You know, like, what? You see me at a restaurant. Like, what? Why are we doing an interview? People do mean well. Like, let's be for real. They mean well. But sometimes every question reminds you that the answer still has not come. So what exactly do we do while we wait? I think the first thing is we keep living. Don't stop. Don't dwell. Do not put your entire life on hold for one prayer. Listen, there is more happening in your life than the one thing you are waiting for. Enjoy your people around you. Enjoy your circle, your life. Travel if you can. Make memories. Try something new. Build something. DIY. Heal something. Learn something. Do not tell yourself your life starts when the blessing comes. Your life is happening now. It's not gonna stop. The second thing, stop trying to force doors just because you are tired of standing in the hallway. Because tired people, Oh, baby, we make some bad, desperate choices, don't we? And every open door is not from God. Some doors are just unlocked. Listen, you already know. Because that right there will preach. And I've been asking my pastor to let me preach. But I'm going to behave today and just leave it there. And the last thing, well, I'll say the third thing in case I think of something else. Keep your heart open. Don't let waiting make you bitter. That is so hard. Because disappointment can slowly turn into resentment if we're not careful. And then when the blessing finally comes, we're too guarded to enjoy it. There is a difference between protecting your peace and expecting disappointment. And I don't want a long waiting season to teach me to expect nothing good. I want it to teach me that I can survive uncertainty without losing myself. That I can trust God without understanding everything. Without trying to have to figure out which direction every piece is going. Because it's not always for us. Sometimes that is for God. Then I can want something deeply without worshiping it. That I can celebrate somebody else without believing their blessing means there is less available for me. And that I can wait without settling. Because patience is not passive at all. Patience is active trust. Patience is saying, I do not know when, I don't know how. I do not know what this is going to look like, but I refuse to become somebody I don't recognize just because I'm tired. And now that I've had some prayers answered, I think I understand something a little differently. It wasn't late. It was late according to me. And let's be clear. According to me, a lot of things should have happened by now. I have schedules. I have plans. I have mental deadlines God apparently did not add to his calendar. What's the old saying old people used to say? Man plans, God laughs. Just rude. But what I thought was late was still part of my story. And maybe you're in a chapter right now that feels slow. Maybe you're supposed to be growing. Maybe you keep asking God how much longer. And I cannot tell you when your answer's coming. And I would never pretend that I can. But I can tell you this. Do not let the waiting convince you that nothing is happening. And do not let someone else's timing make you ashamed of your own. Do not settle for something beneath what you prayed for just because you got tired. And when your moment finally comes, because it's going to come, remember this version of you. The one who kept showing up without proof. The one who cried and still got up. The one who doubted and still prayed. The one who got frustrated and still kept going. The one who didn't have the blessing yet, but kept building a wonderful life anyway. Because one day, you may look around and realize you are standing in something you used to pray about. And when that happens, you enjoy it. You thank God. You take care of it. And please, if it is a house, go ahead, buy yourself a toolbox and keep your nails short. Because, baby, apparently these blessings need a screwdriver, a hammer, you know. But listen, this is unfiltered but still covered. Honest conversations, grace still applied. And next time, don't rush what you prayed for.